If you've ever found yourself praying for your child and feeling like your prayers are coming from a place of urgency or even desperation, let's talk about that. Because once you begin to discern what's going on and you've taken time to align your heart, the next step is not to shrink back in prayer, it's to step forward, not in fear, but in authority. Now, I want to be clear about something. As a parent and as someone who's standing in the gap for your child, you're not coming to God as someone who's hoping to be heard. You are coming as someone who already has access. It says in Hebrews 4 and 16, let us come boldly to the throne of grace. That word boldly matters. It means you're not coming unsure or hesitant or begging. You're coming with confidence in who God is and confidence in your relationship with Him. Now, I want to take this a little deeper than just the boldness because intercession is not just about how you come, it's about how you stand when you're there. Let me explain. There's a difference between praying at a situation and standing in authority over it. When you pray from fear, your prayers tend to sound like, God, please fix it. Please don't let it get worse. Please make them change. And again, those prayers are real, but they're often driven by what you're seeing and feeling. When you step into intercession from alignment, your prayers begin to shift. You're no longer reacting to what's happening, you're responding from truth. And this is where your role becomes clear. You are standing in the gap, not trying to force an outcome, but partnering with God in what He's doing. So let's bring this into a real scenario. Something happens with your child and you feel the concern rising. And instead of immediately reacting outwardly, you take that to God. And instead of saying, God, please fix this, you begin to say, God, I trust you with what I'm seeing and what I'm not seeing. Lord, work in their heart in a way that I cannot. Bring clarity where there is confusion. See, do you feel the difference? That's not panic. That's intercession. And this is where scripture becomes your anchor because you're not just praying what you feel, you're praying what's true. For instance, John 6 and 44, it says, your word says you draw them. So I trust you to do that with my child, Lord. Oh, Lord, your word shows that the prodigal came to himself in Luke 15. So I trust you to bring that same awareness to my child. Now your prayers are not shifting with your emotions, they're grounded. Let's take it a step further. Authority in prayer does not come from how strongly you say something, it comes from being aligned with God. So when you pray, you're not trying to make something happen on your own. You're agreeing with what God is already able and willing to do. And this is where your posture matters. You're not striving, you're not forcing, you're standing. Sometimes that looks like speaking directly and clearly in prayer. God, anything influencing my child that is not from you, break it. Anything that is keeping them from truth, remove it. Not in fear, not in panic, but in calm and steady authority. I want to say something that's going to help you stay grounded. Intercession is not about intensity, it's about consistency. You don't have to pray long, emotional prayers every time. You need to pray clearly, consistently, and from alignment. This is where many parents struggle. They pray and then they go right back into fear. They pray and then they try to fix it themselves. They pray, And then they pick it back up emotionally. And this is where the next step becomes so important. Because after you intercede, you have to learn how to stand. Here is something simple you can begin practicing. The next time something happens and you go to God in prayer, pause and ask, am I praying from fear or from trust? If you feel fear, take a moment to realign yourself. Then you pray from truth. Intercession is not about getting God to move, it's about standing in agreement with what He is already able to do. When you begin to pray from that place, you don't feel like you're chasing outcomes anymore. You feel grounded and steady. So, in the next video, we're going to talk about that part that holds all of this together. Because after you've discerned, after you've aligned, and after you've prayed, how do you stay steady when nothing looks different yet? That is where we learn to stand.